On today's season preview, part 5.
After the wildest offseason in NBA history, we select our must-watch League Pass teams.
We discuss if the Thunder are a title contender, whether Utah is a playoff team, and if Cavs-Warriors remains the league's best rivalry.
And in Crossfire, we debate which two teammates are least likely to get along.
The Starters' 82 Burning Questions starts now!
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to part 5 of the Starters NBA season preview. Happy Thanksgiving to all our Canadian viewers and listeners. Send us down some turkey. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Taz Mellis.
We're working 529, trying to make a living.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily, and last, certainly not least, down yonder, it's the bearded one, it's Trey Kirby.
Oh! Hey, yo!
All right, we are continuing to answer 82 burning questions about the upcoming NBA season. After tonight's show, if my math is correct, we'll be over halfway there.
We're getting there.
If you missed any of our previous episodes from last week, go back and catch them on YouTube. But we got 9 questions to tackle tonight, starting with question 37. Play along on Twitter, hashtag the starters with your answers. Shout out to Zach Lowe here, guys. I want to know your must-watch League Pass team. And before you answer, let's refresh everybody's memory as to who are on your national games, your national TV appearances, ESPN, ABC, TNT, and NBA TV. I don't want you picking from these teams is what I'm saying here.
No, you can't.
Because I can already hear the Lakers fans going crazy saying, why aren't you picking the Lakers? The Lakers are on national TV a whole lot, 35 times, for example. So don't pick the Warriors and Rockets and Cavs and so on. I mean, they're on national TV. I want like sort of an under-the-radar, a team you don't see in the national spotlight a whole lot. Who do you got?
There are lots of good options for this one, but I think the Sixers' very, very bad past kind of helps them out in this category for me. For me, we're in like year 4 of a very bad Sixers movie. The first 3 years, main character down on his luck. Nothing can go right for him.
Right.
Nobody pays attention to him. But here in year 4, oh yeah, he's going to the dance. The main girl's looking at him a little bit more. That being said, this isn't a Hollywood blockbuster that ends well. Things could go wrong.
Indie flick.
People, you never know. I mean, it could go great. Joel Embiid could play 82 games. Ben Simmons could be Rookie of the Year, but people may lay off Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
He may not be able to shoot. Markelle Fultz might be worse than Jason Tatum. Who knows? So to me, it's a very, very intriguing year because I mentioned, even Sarge, Embiid, Simmons, these guys are very unique talents.
But you're going to be watching.
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah, I agree.
literally.
This is my must-watch League Pass team, too, because it seems like maybe you're getting a chance at looking at the next great team. It would kind of be like the OKC Thunder way back when they first moved to Oklahoma City. It was Durant's second year, Westbrook's first year. They weren't very good, so I guess that could be a problem for the Sixers, too, but it could also be like the second year in OKC when Harden and Ibaka showed up. They jumped to 50 wins. There's a whole bunch of new players showing up. There's a whole bunch of guys who are coming back that are young. They're going to finally be melding their talents. There's a lot to watch with the Sixers. And they've got a great look. The red, white, and blue looks awesome. They got
Court
some cool
looks
jerseys.
That's an important part.
Phila, you're having a great time watching.
Great broadcast
And
crew.
they start 7 o'clock a lot of times as well.
That's
his
for the
favorite part.
oldies.
That's his favorite part.
But what about the Milwaukee Bucks, or more specifically just Giannis?
Right.
Because he is a League Pass player himself. When he's on the court, he's one of those guys, if you're flipping around and you see the Bucks and you see Giannis, for me, I can't turn away.
Yeah.
It's like, because you just feel that he's only ever 2 or 3 steps away from a dunk, some sort of play where he gallops from one end of the court up to the other. The 3-point shot's not there, but the Bucks are just a different team to watch when he's on the court. When he's sitting down, though, it becomes a little bit harder. You have to flip back to one of those other teams. But not many players in the league have that star appeal where it's like, I just want to watch this guy. I don't care who they're playing, where they're playing. He has so much appeal to watch. That's why they're my team.
I'll make a small case for the Nuggets. I know the West is loaded, and maybe the Nuggets will get overlooked a little bit, but I think they're going to be extremely exciting. They score a whole bunch. There's going to be quite possibly a lot of 135 to 132 like games. Because last year, at least, they played no defense. But they can score the ball. I know Millsap coming in there should help them a little bit. But Jokic looks like a young Arvydas Sabonis at times out there with how he can pass the ball, being a big guy. You got Gary Harris cutting back toward. You got Jamal Murray maybe catching fire. I do like Millsap helping them on both ends of the floor. So just entertaining. I mean, scoring's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't win you championships most of the time, but it's a blast to watch. So I would throw the Nuggets into the mix there.
Nuggets games are always fun. I wish they would have still worn powder blue because I think that always looks good on jerseys, but they have so many questions to be answered this year too. Which one of their guards are actually good? Is Moutier going to be an NBA player? Are Will Barton and Kenneth Faried, are they still good? they're going to have to play hard the entire season, too, if they're trying to make the playoffs in the West. So you're going to get a lot of good games out there if Lee can stay up that late.
All right, so
Yeah, they're on mountain time. It's not too bad.
76ers, we got the Bucks, we got the Nuggets. Again, let's hear from you guys on Twitter, #TheStarters, with your must-watch League Pass teams. All right, next question here, and it's question 38, and it's one we do every year in our season previews. What puntastic New York Post headline will we see this season? Who wants to get us started?
I'll go first because we know by his own estimation Michael Beasley is as talented as LeBron James, and I think he's in for a fun year in New York this year, and I think we're going to see him hit a game winner at one point, and this is what you're going to see from the New York Post the next day, the Killer Bees.
You're keeping it simple.
Yeah, keeping it simple. He's got a great name you can pun there. He can go a few different ways. He's obviously got the super cool Bees. I just think you're going to see a lot of buzz around him this season.
Killer Bees, all right.
Another great name to pun, Frank Ntilikina. So after back-to-back triple doubles and wins, how about once a neek, always a neek?
It's tough.
Yeah, it's very hard to pronounce, but that's the way they honor their legends, and maybe he'll become a legend early in the season.
I went a little different with mine. We remember the Oscar-nominated film, The Kids Are All Right. It was a fantastic film.
That's Ruffalo.
Julianne Moore,
Yep.
Annette Bening, Mark Ruffalo. When these guys have a fantastic night, Kristaps, your Franks, your Dougs. The kids are all right.
Franks and Doug.
Keep it simple.
Okay, I don't mind that. Look, I think one of the most ridiculed maybe signings of the offseason was the Knicks giving $70 million plus to Tim Hardaway Jr. A lot of people rolled their eyes at that. A lot of people said, what?
Especially when they had him once upon a time.
It's a lot of money. But I got some faith in Tim Hardaway Jr. He averaged 14.5 points per game last year. He had 5 games where he hit 5+ three-pointers made, 2 games where he scored over 30. I think Tim Hardaway, at one time this season, goes for 50 in MSG. Put me down for 50 with Tim, like 8 or 9 threes, and then we're going to see a Tim Bombs Away Jr. headline from the New York Post. Now,
it's possible. It's not crazy.
It's not crazy. I once said Jason Maxiell would be an all-star. That maybe was crazy, but I feel pretty confident about this prediction.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the replay of crazy things Skeet said in the past.
You don't think Tim Hardaway Jr. could go for 8, 9, 10 threes in a game?
He definitely
catches
could.
fire.
He could also get some three-pointers the Hardaway, and ones. Seriously,
Yeah,
once you start punting, you can't stop punting.
I just hope he does it in front of Dad there if Pistons are in town, because Dad will be on the sideline. He'll be cheering him on.
You're absolutely right. Okay, so let's see. Throw us your puntastic New York Post headlines on Twitter, #TheStarters. Maybe we get some good ones in. We can get them into the show later this week. We got to take a break. Lots more still to come. When we return, are the Jazz still a playoff team? We'll debate that and a whole lot more in the Up Down Report. Back with the starters, 82 burning questions, and our next 4 questions are in the Up-Down Report. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Play along on Twitter, #TheStarters, with your thumbs, your emojis there. All right, question 39 overall here, guys. Are the Utah Jazz still a playoff team? Let's see those thumbs.
Tough West.
Yeah,
Still
tough
almost.
West.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
I think they're going to be a fantastic defensive team.
Definitely.
Yes. Rudy Gobert is still back there. He's got a lot to prove. And I think he's got a lot to prove offensively as well. Combine that with the fact, I know Gordon Hayward is gone, but this is a team that passes the ball a ton. Last 4 years, top 4 in passes, number 1 a couple times. So I think they're going to get something out of their guys who are in contract years, like Rodney Hood and Derek Favors, even Joe Johnson. I think there will be enough because they move the ball around. Look at all these talented guys on this roster.
But do you think they could make the playoffs if Gobert is their leading scorer, which he may be this season?
I don't think there's a chance he's the leading scorer.
No.
Who's going to be the leading
Rodney
scorer?
Hood. If Rodney Hood is healthy,
It's
probably so.
an offense by committee, for sure.
Yeah, that's where I'm a little bit concerned. I think Gobert is brilliant defensively, and I think the lobs are great. Rubio's a fantastic passer. I think they're going to work all that. I'm just not sure they've got enough outlets for other guys to score to keep up with some of those other teams in the West. And also, the other teams we've talked about a lot.
You can win basketball games still. I know it's rare, but 88-87.
I know you can.
Do it.
But look at the Wolves again, the Nuggets and the Pelicans. 3 teams we talked about all surging towards that playoff spot. I don't think the Jazz win 51 games. They're in the hunt with those teams. Not sure if they're going to make it though.
Yeah, I'm also worried about the offense. The shooting isn't there. They've got a lot of new players coming in, so there is a great ball movement system. I think they could definitely have sort of a Budenholzer-Hawks sort of approach where everybody's a little bit better just because they play together. But that takes a while to kind of develop and just get that chemistry going. That's a lot of new players to integrate. I'm kind of worried. with Gordon Hayward gone, I think we are underestimating how big of a factor he was on them being any good on offense last year. Shot 40% from three, just being out there.
He bailed
There's a
them
lot
out.
more room for the big guys. If he's not there, they're going to run into some trouble.
Jazz fans are super high on their rookie and Donovan Mitchell, and I know we'll get to Rookie of the Year later in our season preview series, but
They
they're
should
liking
be.
what they've seen from him, and they think he can sort of contribute right away in this league. They get Jerebko to try and get a little bit more shooting in there, Cephalosha for a little veteranship, and obviously some defense from him. I mean, I like Epe Udo in there. I like after losing Gordon Hayward, I thought they did some nice maneuvering. They just got to hope with the Jazz that some of these guys can stay healthy. And they're already in trouble, possibly with Dante Exum. We're waiting to find out whether he's going to be out for an extended period of time. But they need Favors to be healthy, and they need Hood, and they need Burks and all these guys. Yeah.
And I have faith in Favors going into his contract year that he's going to be the best guy that he's been the last few years. And there's just more on his shoulders because Gordon Hayward is out. Same with Gobert. And maybe Adam Silver decides mid-year that we're going to rank everybody 1 through 16. No more conferences.
No.
They'll make the
Boy.
playoffs for
Mid-year.
sure. I'm kidding. That's not going to happen.
Right. Do you like that idea, though?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
I do
Wow.
too.
Wow, gee, okay, well, maybe I'll add that
And I'm going to
question.
mention it 2 minutes from now.
All right, question 40. This one from, coming from Joe from Delhi on Twitter. He wants to know, will Damian Lillard get snubbed for a third straight All-Star game? We had to
Joe
do
in the deli.
We had to do some fact-checking on this. It turns out if he didn't make it this year, that would be Lillard's third straight.
Yeah, I think he's getting snubbed.
Wow, 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb down.
I agree. The guy was a major snub last year. 77 times in NBA history, a player's averaged 26 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Damian Lillard, the first guy ever to not make the All-Star game. Really just because of bad timing. At the All-Star break, Portland was 10th in the West, 10 games under 500. The same thing happened the previous year. They get hot in the second half of the season. So if they can figure out a way to be good the first half of the season, if he levels up a little bit on defense, gets a little bit more respect around the league on that end of the court, I think he could make it, but it's just really tough in the Western Conference.
Funny thing with Lillard, he's got respect from his peers. He finished 4th in player voting, but 8th in fan voting. So as you mentioned, that slow start really hurts because teams who aren't playing well, fans tune out. The casual fan tunes out for sure. So Lillard and the Blazers have to get off to a good start. The numbers are there. We know he's an all-star player, he's an all-NBA player. Just got to do it from the first week, first month, so that fans are talking about him, generating that buzz.
But think about the guards in the West that are going to be winning for sure. The Blazers are going to be below the standings of the Warriors and Steph and Clay and the Rockets and Chris Paul and Harden and Russell Westbrook. I mean, it's just too tough. Now, if Adam Silver changes it, so we rank the
You want
playoff
Silver to
teams
do a
1
lot
through
here.
6. Hey, he said it this past
Yep,
weekend.
yep.
Obviously, it's that's way down the road. But if we took the 24 best players from the league, then Damian Lillard is definitely in the conversation. But look at these guards in the West. It's so tough.
I mean, there's no doubt. There's so much depth there, but I think he is one of those players who has got that dynamic ability. We just, as I say, have to see it from the start of the season.
It's crazy to think with Damian Lillard, a guy who scored 27 points per game last season, 27, that he's really only made the All-Star game straight up once.
Yeah.
2014. 2015, he was an injury replacement for Blake Griffin, so he's made the All-Star team twice, but just once getting in there, last 2 not making it, possibly a third, because he's listed all those guards. If Blazers if their team is not doing well enough around that All-Star break, when these votes start coming in, he might be out again.
Yeah.
He might be out of the run again.
Chris Paul didn't make the team last year as well.
That's
that
another
injury
spot.
came into it a little bit, though, remember?
His injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if he's healthy this year is
Right.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
within the
another
mix.
spot that Damian Lillard
Is
can
competing
cut.
with, yeah.
The question will be is if Lillard gets as much respect as a guy like Klay Thompson, who's going to be probably the third guy offensively on his team, but they're going to be a way better team as opposed to Lillard, who will be the best guy offensively on a team that's not as good. Personally, I like seeing the number 1 guy dominate. I would put Damian Lillard on a lot, but that doesn't always happen. Lillard.
He's all over his guys already in the preseason. He's got mad at them because they gave away a game. He wants to come out of the gate.
Definitely.
Apparently great.
By the way, the guy that asked that question, Joe from Delhi, his Twitter bio was, I put the deli in delicious. Just a little fact for you. I just want to throw that out there. All right, next one here. Question 41.
He's no bodega boy, but that's cool.
Warriors-Cavs, is it the NBA's best rivalry?
Yeah.
Big time.
Don't overthink it.
Is it the NBA's only rivalry? Ask yourself that question. Cavs-Celtics, there's potential for that, but we haven't seen it. There's a whole bunch of new faces. Celtics-Wizards, that one's broken up. Grizzlies-Clippers, that one's broken up. These teams met in the finals 3 straight years. Could happen again, and they have some beefs. Steph Curry has had beef with LeBron. LeBron and Draymond obviously happened. They will get in each other's faces. Definitely the best
Kevin
rivalry.
Durant just entered the pizza game.
Oh my goodness.
A new element.
And LeBron's already in the pizza business with his Blaze Pizza. Now KD's got Pyology.
Yeah.
It'll be a pizza war.
levels to this.
That's a great point, though. I agree with you guys with the thumbs up. It sure seems like the NBA's maybe not only best rivalry, maybe it is the only rivalry truly right now.
Yeah, the Celtics Wizards comes to mind. They played in the playoffs last year, but as you mentioned, only 4 of the Celtics players returning. So the rivalry kind of goes out the window. Jay Crowder was a big part of that. He's gone. Marcus Smart's still a big part of that. Now that they've got Marcus Morris and the Wizards have Markieff Morris, maybe there could be some bros butting heads. I could see that happening. Those guys will go
It'll be fun to see
at
them guard
it.
each other.
Is it good or bad maybe for the NBA landscape that we only really have truly one rivalry, but it's a rivalry that's met in the finals the last 2 years, and maybe we'll meet for a 4th.
I mean, you'd like to see a little bit more spice around the league. I mean, Westbrook and Durant, there's still some unfinished business there. You even saw Westbrook just yesterday after the Thunder nearly lost to Melbourne United.
I knew you were gonna slip that in today's show.
Yeah, and he doesn't give a poop about Australia.
Yeah, well, it nearly cost him too. Yeah, but he was wearing the Adopt a Cat T-shirt yesterday after Kevin Durant apparently called his teammates cats.
Right, right. So you think that maybe a Warriors Thunder? Yeah,
Cup cats.
that's a possibility. All right. Final one here of the up-down report. Question 42 overall. Does the Melo trade make OKC a title contender?
That's a good question. Why not? If things go perfect,
That's right.
they have to go very well.
Yeah. They need
And-
something to really happen to the Warriors, like an injury, which we obviously would hate to see something like that. But look, Sam Presti went out and made his team from a playoff team into a serious team now in the West. They need some time to get together. They need to have some luck in the playoffs. They need to stay healthy. And sure, they're a contender. They're a
believe
contender.
that?
I mean,
Yeah, I agree. They're a contender because I think they'll be one of the 5 best teams in the league. So that makes you a contender in my book. Like you guys are saying, they are probably not going to beat a full-strength Golden State team, but who knows what's going to be happening come May and June. That's chronologically accurate. But that's the thing for me is they're not going to beat a full-strength Golden State team. But if you're one of the best teams in the league, you're still technically a title contender because it's a long season. Things happen.
And Greg
Right.
Popovich has even talked about it. You need luck along the way. You know, there's sometimes just things go your way and things work out, and you've got those star players there. So yes, you're a contender.
All right, let's hear from you guys again with the up-down report. Jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters with your thumbs up and thumbs down on those last 4 questions. More questions still to come, of course, in Crossfire. It's Lily versus me.
I think I'm going to have you for Thanksgiving dinner today.
Canada.
Dare you?
Welcome to Crossfire. I'll give these guys 3 questions. They're going to debate them at the end of it all. I pick a winner, and the twist this year, the winner stays. Let's step into the Crossfire round 1. Question 43. I want to live inside your guys' brains for a minute. Who's the most intriguing player this season? Here we go.
It's the Bosnian Beast, Yusuf Nurkic with the Blazers. Because I want to know if the Nurkic Blazers are for real.
Right.
Is this a legit big 3 in Nurkic, Lillard, and McCollum? They went 14-5 with Nurkic in the starting lineup at the
Not
end
even
of last
a quarter
season.
of the season, though.
That's right, but how good are they? How good are they? So that's why it's very intriguing to me.
Season 4 of Andrew Wiggins this year, and the offense has steadily improved each season. What about the rest of it? Where's the D? Where's the playmaking? Where's all those other things that we've seen from the rookie season that haven't really advanced to the same level? He played the most minutes in the league last year. Rebounds and assist numbers were the same as his rookie season. Jimmy Butler's coming over. He's not playing second fiddle to anybody on that team.
Are you out of breath?
I am, man.
Why are you talking
Man,
like
get that
Stamina up, please.
What are you talking about like this?
Round two. Question number 44. You guys are good buddies. You're the crossword kids. Which teammates are least likely to get along this season? Here we go.
Chris Paul and James Harden. I love the idea in theory, but I'm
Okay.
skeptical because we know they got married in the summer, these two. They've been on honeymoon ever since.
They got married to each other, yeah.
To each other, yeah. And what happens after the honeymoon is over? The grit, the grind starts. James Harden loves to freelance on offense, great. What about on the defensive end? Chris Paul isn't going to have any of that slacking off in defense. When James Harden slacks off, Chris Paul's going to be throwing the ball. He's going to take the ball.
I
It's
hear
those
you.
two.
I hear you. I'm grasping at straws here a little bit. You don't want to do that in Crossfire, but I think there's some potential there for Jimmy Butler and Andrew Wiggins, who you
Of
just picked for
course.
intriguing, to clash.
What, you're nicking my answer?
To clash. Because, you know, to echo sort of what you were saying, yeah, how do they take turns handling the ball? And who gets the crunch time shots? And is Wiggins' personality, does that not work with Jimmy Butler, who we know can get on guys? So there's a little potential there for them to clash. I don't think it'll happen, but it's potential.
Close battle coming into round 3 here. Question number 45. We've seen Swipe Right Night and Drake Night. But what's going to be the craziest promotional night of the year? Here we go.
Well, Kyrie Irving's theory on the Earth being flat was the talk of All-Star break. It continued throughout this offseason. I had family members asking me about this, so let's double down on the nonsense and let's give away the Earth is flat mouse pads to the first 10,000 Kyrie truthers who show up. Leah, I know you just got a new computer. We'll get you a new mouse pad and we'll go from there. Maybe it is. I don't know. What do you
The
got?
Oklahoma City Thunder have to do everything to try to convince Carmelo Anthony to stay there beyond this season. And I think this is what they're going to do now. Give him and everyone who turns up to an Oklahoma City game this year a hoodie night just for Melo. He's been wearing this all summer. This is on media day. He's even wearing that hoodie. No greater way to show Melo that he's loved and wanted in Oklahoma City than to show everyone hoodie nights not just for you, it's for the entire team.
Our winner tonight.
Wow!
Yes! Nobody uses mouse pads anymore.
Yeah. Is everybody okay? You didn't even have B-roll of that last one. You're dead. I
didn't even need it,
You're
man.
dead.
Break it up.
I didn't even need it. Come on. Let me.
Final break. When we return, the fans make their pick for this season's must-watch League Pass team. Don't go anywhere. Tonight on NBA TV, we got the Rockets and Knicks, followed by the Trailblazers and Kings. Game time, 12:30 a.m. Eastern here on NBA TV. Fantasy basketball season, it's in full swing. So if you're looking for some tips on who to draft, check out nba.com/fantasy for all the info you can handle. All right, let's get to our Twitter poll results. We asked you guys out there, must-watch League Pass team. Who you got? We gave you 4 options. The Wolves, 76ers, Bucks, and Nuggets, and the Timberwolves run away with this one, 43%. It's a great pick. Can't be angry with that pick. Some news regarding the 76ers, though. According to Woj, Joel Embiid has agreed to a 5-year, $148 million designated rookie scale max extension with the Philadelphia 76ers. A guy that's played 31 games, in theory, has just signed to a 5-year, $148 million deal.
31 games. How much is that per game played? That's a lot.
Almost
Are you
5 million.
are you surprised
5 mil
by
per
this?
game.
Or no, no brainer.
I don't know why they would do it right now. I don't think they had to do it today.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the rules with
I know,
that.
we need
But
to-
what else are they going to invest that kind of money in, right? Who else are they going to give that sort of money? Because they have to hit a salary floor and they have to be good.
Yeah, but
Coming
even
up
if-
tomorrow,
yeah.
Save it, Lee. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Coming up tomorrow, part 6. We'll talk Rookie of the Year honors, some 76ers in the running for that. Which team has the league's best bench? And is this the last year for LeBron James in the Lamb? Ooh, that'll be a spicy one. All right, 82 burning questions. Continues tomorrow, Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.
Yes, Jordan Sten, thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, Lee Ellis takes hits better than Shane O'Mac.
Doesn't sell it, does he? Race the night, people.